Welcome everyone, my name is Liam Leston, and in this video, I will be making some last-minute guesses for the Chapter 2 class trial before the second half of the trial is released. I want to talk about how the AM theory works. In the note found in the trash can, it mentions inviting RA to the playground at 7:30. However, the part about it being AM or PM is missing. This means that there's a possibility that RA met up with her killer in the morning rather than at night. Before talking about the events in the morning, is there a way to know that the murder did not occur at 7:30 p.m.? Well, not 100%, but consider that as we have learned more about this period of time, it has become increasingly clear that the pieces are not fitting together as well as we would have hoped. First off, we know that both Ace and David were on the second floor at that time. It's hard to imagine that neither one of them noticed anything directly related to the murder. This is especially true because we know from Ace's testimony that he literally could hear RA walking down the hallway while he was still in the gym. It is strange that the killer could completely avoid detection under these circumstances. Furthermore, we learned that at 7:30 p.m., RA did not go to the playground as the note instructed, but rather went to the relaxation room in search of David. This is a notable different behavior than what we would expect. While none of these points completely rule out the possibility of murder occurring at this time, it raises enough doubt that we should seriously consider if the murder occurred at 7:30 a.m. instead. However, the murder occurring at 7:30 a.m. also has its fair share of problems that we need to work through. Question 1. How did the killer get the fish found at the crime scene? The fish came from the relaxation room that did not reopen until 8 a.m. Arturo mentions that everyone, aside from RA, was present in the screening room at 8 a.m. How could the killer have possibly gotten the fish? It is possible because Arturo is slightly incorrect. The morning announcement goes off at exactly 8 a.m. By asking everyone to gather in the screening room, it implies that at exactly 8 a.m., everyone was elsewhere in the school. Because there would be travel time, it means everyone met up shortly after 8. This means that the killer would have a brief period of time where they could have entered the relaxation room before heading to the screening room without drawing any suspicion. Question number 2. How is that enough time to commit the murder? The only part of the murder that seems to require the relaxation room is the fish. Thus, most of the murder could have been committed beforehand, and then the fish would be used for just the last part of the plan. Question 3. What could the killer have used the fish for in such a short period of time? Well, I don't think the killer actually needed the fish. What the killer needed was water. It is possible that they threw a large amount of water on the ground to finish cleaning up some sort of mess. The presence of the fish would indicate that the killer was in such a rush that they didn't have the time to separate the fish from the water. Question 4. Why is there no water at the crime scene? As Terrico mentions, due to the ventilation and absorbency of the ground, any water vanishes after 10 minutes. Question 5. If the killer needed water, why didn't they use the water from the mini-fridge in the gym? Rose mentions the jugs found in the garbage are from there. This is because there was no water after Terrico emptied the fridge out. Also, the fridge never contained jugs of water, just bottles. We can see what they look like in Terrico's room. Question number 6. What did the jugs contain? In the dress-up room, Charles found a ball of clothing that was covered in starch. Given the size of the ball, it would suggest that a large amount of starch was used. These jugs could have been the source. Question number 7. Why are the jugs damaged? I'm not sure how the jugs were damaged, but I would guess that the damage was accidental. If the killer needed starch for their plan, they would have likely just opened the cap. This would suggest that the killer may have spilled a large amount of starch on the floor. Question number 8. Why is no starch found at the crime scene? This is likely because the killer attempted to clean it up. However, given the limited amount of resources for cleaning up on that given floor, the killer had to improvise. They chose to use the old clothing to clean up. When they were done, they gathered all the clothing together into a bunch. Because they were covered in starch, they were easily formed into a ball, making it easy to carry all of the clothing at once. The ball of clothing was too big to fit inside the garbage can, so they hid it in the fitting rooms instead. Even after using the clothes, there would still be some residue left on the floor, making it sticky. To hide this, they waited outside the relaxation room until 8 a.m. They then quickly gathered the water they needed, splashed it on the floor, along with the poor fish, and then quickly made their way to the screening room before their absence was noticed. That is how I think the AM theory will work. Thank you for watching the video, and a big thank you to the author of Despair Time. It is a fantastic fangan, and I look forward to the second half of the class trial.